Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Mike with smartoptiontrading.com. It is Wednesday, the 22nd of November. This is our weekly recap. That's right. It's our weekly recap as today is my last trading day of the week. So, for those of you out there, tomorrow is Thanksgiving in America. The markets are closed on Thursday and Friday. It is a half day session. The markets are open until 1 o'clock. It's going to be a very slow today, like today, probably even a little bit slower. If you want to join us today, this is your last week to do so. Starting December 1st, rates go up. Anybody who is signed up under the existing plan, there is no change to rates. So, just as a heads up, come over to smartoptiontrading.com, click on live trading alerts, and here's your chance to try us out before prices go up. All right, enough of that. Let's talk about the markets this week and what we had. And, what we had here is a market that is pretty much a runaway freight train. We talked about this last week. We have one gap, we have two gaps, we have three gaps, we have four gaps that weren't filled, and they have not even been tested. We went sideways for a few days. We pushed up on Monday again, right? We got that big move. Yesterday we gapped down. Today we gapped up, and you can see here we are just elevating, and we've pretty much filled most of this little gap that's out there. And the next big level is 459.44. Everybody would love a dip, and this market does not want to give one. And then once you get above that, then you're saying, well, how far is it to the all-time high? 479.80. It is not that far. Let's go over to the Qs. While we're talking about this, the Qs 408.70 is getting to within 20 less than 20 bucks away from it. The Qs have been incredibly strong. They have already taken out the 52-week high. Again, very, very strong moves on the Qs and on the SPY here. So let's talk about this week and what was in play and what wasn't. I've been trading around an Apple position for the last couple of weeks. I removed my covered calls. It continues to go up or down, try to break out today. Didn't quite hold up, but overall looks good. And I'm continuing to look for Apple, try to push up and test and break above this all-time high by the end of the year. I'm out in January, 200 calls. Sold my covered calls for a profit. Amazon gave some nice trades this week. This one also breaking to the upside. New 52-week high today, remains very strong. Yesterday, Jeff Bezos was selling shares. We dropped down, gapped up, and look at this move. A lot of relative strength there. Google, despite all the noise, almost at a 52-week high. Microsoft put a new all-time high in today, even with Altman going back to OpenAI. It's still not bad news for Microsoft. It's just not the home run they thought they were going to get. Meta has broken above 240. My next level there is 340. My next level there is 350. Remains strong. What else should we talk about? Let's talk about Tesla before we go into some other names. Tesla here yesterday, nice candle, closed above the 50-day, nasty candle here today. Names trading sloppy, it's chopping around. We have a gentleman's wager of where it's going to. I say it's not going to 200. Somebody in the room says it is going to 200. Needless to say, people in the room have set the date and the odds and the bookmakers, and I'm feeling like I'm going to have a windfall on my hands, Doug, a windfall. But honestly, when we look at this chart, um, came back down 21 devils to lay to hold. If not, it can get itself in some trouble there, and it needs to break back up above this range, the high here from last week, and that is 247.70. The financials continue to hold in. Nothing wrong there. New range high today. Energy remains weaker and out of play, but holding in. Biotech also remains fairly weak. And then there's the semi. The semis came close to putting in they put a new all-time in this week. They were up today. I am now started a new position in ARM. Bought that today when we broke over 61. I like this. This is a U pattern Chris has been talking about in the room. This is a typical IPO. You get this U pattern that leads it to higher prices. We'll see. Like that. Bought stock in that one. And let's talk NVIDIA. A lot of conversation around NVIDIA. It was a great report. They, a year ago they were doing 5.7 billion in revenue. They did what, 18 plus billion this quarter. That's huge. They guided up 2 billion basically for this quarter, over a 10% guide up for next quarter. They beat on EPS. If you're looking for the slight negative, it's that, China, I think there's a lot of fear over China. They have 20 to 25% of their cloud computing exposure in China, and it's unclear how badly that's going to be affected, but it's definitely going to be infected, and they admitted that as well. So, that's something there to keep in mind as we move forward. But I think it'll be absolutely fine. It'll come back, and I do think it'll take out the all-time high, which you put in this week of 504.48. We have Doug in the room was telling us to watch Amazon next week. They have an event, so we'll keep an eye on that next week. I think it's on Monday. And AMD has announced that their AI event will be on December 6th. AMD, nice breakout of the range here today, trading up. And the next spot here, as you look at this, as we break into the 125, that's a big level to get across. Then above that, 130 and 132.83 are all-time highs, and AMD acting really well here, likely wants to run into that. So with that said, I'm going to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. I wish you all well. If you want to join us, link in the description below. Come on in before prices go up, and catch you guys in the room bright and early on Monday morning.